Hey everybody, welcome back to the Working Man's Whiskey. I'm Bobby. Guys, was trying to get this review on here last night. Wasn't able to. Had some technical difficulties, so um, today, Monday, just as good a time as any. Um, I don't overdo it on the weekdays, but uh, a little bit of whiskey, a little bit of bourbon, especially on a Monday. When you're just getting back into the work week and uh, just want something nice to sip on after work. This is a good opportunity to do that. So here we are, guys. As you can see, the whiskey I'm reviewing today is Booker's. This Booker's here is the Beaten Biscuits, which came out last year. Booker's comes out with different offerings every year. They've been coming out with Booker's. Booker No, of course, the three times great grandson of Jim Beam, and he was the sixth generation master distiller for Jim Beam. He started his own small batch line, Booker's being the first of that small batch line, which was hand selected barrels, the kind of honey barrels that he felt were the best out of the rick houses. And he started making or putting together Booker's back in 1988. And maybe even a little bit before that, officially 1988. But he started it not as something for the public, but for gifts, for Christmas gifts and whatnot for his closest friends and family. And it was the best whiskey he thought they were making, so he bottled it up, and they told him, "Hey Booker, you gotta sell this stuff. This is great stuff." And he started doing it. So it's kind of cool. You get to see Booker there on the back. I love the presentation here. Always a classy look with the box and the little engraving of Booker No himself on the back. Booker retired as the master distiller from Jim Beam in 1992, at which point his son Fred No took over as master distiller. Booker was still an ambassador for the company after that, up until his death in 2004. And Fred No still makes Booker's. He hand selects the barrels himself, just like his dad did, as a tribute to his father. And he gives each batch its own name, kind of as a tribute to different people in his family, whether it's his dad or grandmother, just different people. And this one's Beaten Biscuits because Booker's grandmother used to make these beaten biscuits where they used to, beat the air out of the biscuits, and the resulting biscuits that they made, which Booker tried to perfect for a lot of his life, they didn't have a whole lot of taste according to them, but they went well with the whiskey, and also with the country hams that Booker would make, that he was famous for making as well. And I believe country ham is actually another offering from Booker's from last year. Have not had that one yet, but I've had just about every offering of Booker's since, I don't know, for probably the past 6 years or so. I'd like to try some of the older ones too if I could ever get my hands on them. Probably pretty expensive out of my price range, but this one here, it's still pretty, it gets up there. This is top of the line for Jim Beam, for the small batch. They have, Knob Creek and Basil Hayden's and Baker's and Booker's. I like them all, guys. They're, as far as small batch lines from different distilleries, Jim Beam has the best one in my opinion. I love Knob Creek, and, for under $30, great whiskey. I love Baker's. My buddy Adam actually put a Baker's review on his Whiskey Wasteland page, so check him out after this. Definitely, Adam's doing good things, guys. Whiskey Wasteland. He had some pretty good things to say about Baker's. And then Booker's here. I've reviewed Booker's before, a different batch, I think from probably 2016 or so. I have not had the new one either, by the way. The newest one, I believe, that came out this year, in January of this year, was is Granny's batch. So if anybody's had that, let me know how it is. I've heard kind of mixed reviews on it, but I've never had a bad Booker's before, so it'd be interesting to know what you guys have to say about that one. So let's open this up. It's already open. I've had several sips of this, but let's give it a pour here, guys. So there's a bottle. As you can see, I've done some work to it. Had it for, I don't know, probably a couple of weeks now. But it's really good stuff. This has been I've been trying to conserve this stuff a little bit. I haven't been able to. I mean, I've had some myself. I had my brother-in-law over here one day for my daughter's birthday, and he had some as well. I told him you had to try it out. This is, I'm gonna do the review, guys, but this is probably the best batch of Bookers that I've had. No joke. This is good stuff. Really good stuff. So, let you guys look at Booker there. Comes with a little card inside. I'll read you the whole thing. This review might go a little long for you, but I hope you enjoy it. So this is the age on this is 6 years, 6 months, and 19 days. It's 126.1 proof, which is 63.05% ABV. And it says Booker No Master Distiller from 1960 to 1992. Again, it's called the Beaten Biscuits. This batch is called Beaten Biscuits. So the batch story. The final release on the Booker's Bourbon 2019 collection is Booker's batch 2019-04 Beaten Biscuits. This batch is named after the small cracker-like biscuits my dad, Booker No, loved to make. Like his bourbon and his country hams, he was meticulous about getting them just right. Dad learned to make beaten biscuits from his grandmother, and he spent years trying to perfect the recipe. These little biscuits required the air to be beaten out of them, which is how they got their name. And they had little holes in them to keep them from getting stale too fast. He'd camp out in the kitchen for hours, tinker with the recipe, leave it alone for a while, and then come back for more. At the end of the day, the biscuits didn't have much taste to them, but that's why Dad liked them. They wouldn't alter the flavor of the country ham or the bourbon he loved to enjoy with them. The holidays are always a big time for our family, and Dad liked to send these biscuits with his legendary country hams as gifts. In the spirit of the holiday season, I hope you enjoy this batch alongside your own family traditions. Fred No, Beam family's 7th generation master distiller. So that's one side, pretty informative there. And these are the master distiller notes, kind of tells you about the whiskey itself, where it came from. It says Booker's batch 2019-04 Beaten Biscuits was produced on a single date and stored in 2 warehouses in 3 locations. The breakdown of barrel storage is as follows. 47% came from the 6th floor of 9-story warehouse H. 11% came from the 4th floor of 7-story warehouse P. And 42% came from the 5th floor of 7-story warehouse P. The batch has a deep chestnut color that is elegant, like all batches of Booker's. The nose has hints of the oak barrel coming through the sweetness, much like the scent of caramel icing for a cake. The finish is medium and very flavorful. I know my dad would say this is a tasty batch to enjoy with his country ham and prized beaten biscuits. So that's Fred No who said that. So it's like a little dog fight outside. All right, here we go. So nice little pour there. Not quite what I usually pour myself. I do want to conserve this, but I also really, really, really enjoy this. So let's take a look at this, guys. And as you know, this is says the whiskey in this package is the highest grade bourbon created by me here at Jim Beam. It is bottled uncut and unfiltered. My grandfather Jim Beam liked this whiskey from 6 to 8 years old, or liked his whiskey from 6 to 8 years old. So people walking their dogs or something out there, probably fighting. Booker's Bourbon is quality screened to remove only pieces of charred barrel wood. So that's all they do. They take out the bigger chunks of wood that get into the whiskey. But it's kind of neat, guys. Every pour I've had of this, you can see little bits of wood, little bits of barrel floating at the bottom. It could be, probably isn't actually the cork, because the cork is, it's more of one of those synthetic kind of rubbery corks. It's not actual wood, so the wood in the glass is probably from the barrel itself, which is, I think, is pretty cool. The color on this is, it's a good medium amber, like maybe medium +2, I'd say. That's a good dark color, guys. I'm not sure if you can see it against the wall there. Try not to spill it. But it's got a good color to it. Good deep color. Good stick to the glass. Those legs aren't going anywhere. Just sticking really nicely. Good thick viscous whiskey. Let's give him a nose. Oh, man. And it is 126.1 proof, as I said. But you can still get your nose in there pretty well, guys. This one, for being 126.1, isn't going to burn you up on the nose at all. And the notes you're getting, you get, it's funny, I said this from the time I first tasted it. It tastes like a bakery. I swear to God, it tastes like a bakery. You get a lot of like vanilla frosting. I get like caramel frosting. A lot of cinnamon, almost a cinnamon roll in there. I get baked bread, like freshly baked bread. Oh man, it's just a big. You know, you get your oak and your caramel and all that, but it's just it's got some spice to it, baking spice. Like I said, cinnamon, kind of reminiscent of a cinnamon roll. It's got cinnamon, nutmeg. You might get a little rye spice, guys, but it's just coming across more as a baking spice. So, but yeah, it's definitely a dessert type whiskey. You know, it's more reminiscent of frostings and cakes and glazes, stuff like that. Man, it's got a killer nose. Let's go in for a taste. And you're getting all those notes, that baked bread, the frosting, vanilla frosting, caramel frosting, but you're getting, and the oak and all that is right up front as well, but you're getting your classic beam, more of the classic beam notes that I wasn't quite getting on the nose. You get that peanutty type note that you get from beam. It's not. You know, some whiskeys have a stale peanut type note. This isn't that. This is honey roasted peanuts, guys. Honey roasted peanuts. It's got that hay note. I've said it before. Beam to me always has a really good oat hay note, and I love that note. Really, really good. But it's got a perfect, almost as perfect as it can get. Balance of sweet, spice, that oak, a little bit of that barrel spice, but those sweet notes coming through, those dessert notes I was talking about, Oh man, it's a killer whiskey, guys. Let's go on for another taste. And then 126.1 proof. As I said, it's not going to burn you up on the nose. Or, you know, I mean, it's got, of course, it's going to have a little bit of that burn, but it's a cooler burn. It's not one that's like, oh my God, you know, it's a good burn. You're going to get that burn with higher proof whiskeys, guys, but there's so much character coming through. And there's nothing bad or bitter or anything, you know. I mean, you might want to, I like this neat, but I can see how some people might want to add a few drops of water. I wouldn't add more than a couple myself if I was going to add any, but you know, add water as you see fit. You know, if you want to throw an ice cube in there, you know, never ever ever under any circumstance mix this whiskey. This is too good the way it is to be mixed with anything. You know, this is for anybody who wants to taste what the whiskey was like in the barrel. You know, again, it's unfiltered, uncut, 126.1 proof, and it's delicious, guys. It's really, really good. This is seriously, as I said before, this is the best batch of Bookers that I've had. And I've had just about every batch for the past 6 years or so, not counting the Country Ham from last year or the newest one, the Granny's batch. But I've had the rest of them dating back about 6 years, and this is my favorite. It really is. And I have nothing bad to say about this whiskey. I really don't. I'm looking for something to kind of complain about. I don't really have anything, guys, at all. You know, nothing but good things to say about this. I just love all those notes that are coming through, and you know, if you like a good, you know, man, the finish is still going. You know, I took that last sip, I don't know how long ago, but the finish is still going. It's got, you know, obviously a medium to long, I'd say closer to a long finish. Let's take another sip. Brown sugar. It just has all those really sweet, you know, little spice right there. That might have been like a little bit of rye spice right there. Before I was getting more of a cinnamon spice, nutmeg, but that was a little bit of rye right there. And this is just a great bottle of whiskey. Highly recommended. And if you can find it, it's worth the extra money, guys. I mean, I call this a payday or a overtime whiskey. If you have the extra money to spend, it's well worth it. So definitely find Beaten Biscuits. Try it out. Just buy the bottle. Don't even go somewhere and try it out. Buy it, and I think you'll really like it. I really do. If you like everything I described, those big bold whiskeys, big bold bourbons, you're gonna love this one. So I'm gonna give this one. I think it's tied probably for my highest mark I've ever given a whiskey on this channel. I'm gonna give this a 96 out of 100. It definitely deserves that mark. I always, you know, people ask me, oh, why not a little, you know, if there's nothing wrong with it, why not higher? Because I like to leave a little bit of room, and just in case I ever do have that whiskey that somehow can beat this. But this, to me, is as perfect as I've ever had at any price range, really. You know, it's funny. I mean, I've had the privilege of trying out Pappy's 23 a couple of times, and if I had that money, that kind of money that costs, I'd probably buy a few bottles of Booker's and put the rest away, take the family on a trip or something. I mean, that's how good Booker's is. I wouldn't, this would be my daily sipper if I had that kind of money. Hope you guys like it. I hope you guys like this review. I look forward to talking to y'all soon. And that's it for now, guys. I'll get back on here before long. I've got several really good whiskeys to review. So hope y'all have a good week. And leave me your comments. Look forward to talking to you guys. And that's it for now. Till next time, cheers.